I'm back from my Monday morning hockey, and other people have deserted us, so it's you and me, Galina. We'll do our video. People seem to appreciate this sort of, we used to call it in hockey the hot stove league, because in the old days, people would play hockey outdoors, and then they would come in and there was a hot stove with a fire there. I'm sure in Russia the same. And people would sit around the hot stove and talk about the hockey, so it was like a hot stove league. What interests me is motivation. Right now, my motivation for Korean is sagging a bit. However, I get out of my hockey, I look on my iPhone, and my transcriber has sent me 2 new transcripts.
Wow.
Okay? So I said, okay, yeah, so now I want to go home and do them. And it reminded me that, it's one thing to have that motivation, like you're studying French. I like French, I want to learn French, I want to learn to speak French. There's that kind of general motivation, but at times you kind of, it's not enough. However, if I have 2 transcripts, so that's very specific. I can go home now and do 2 transcripts. And I think sometimes it's easier if we get a very simple task, that we have to do.
I agree, because if you have some kind of very general goal, it's really hard to receive something like and to reach this goal.
Right.
For example, for my English, when I studied English at school and university, I think maybe I had no enough motivation for learning English. But when I decided to immigrate to Canada, I got this motivation because I knew that I had to learn because I had to communicate with other people in English.
And your English, by the way, is amazing. It really is. You've been in Canada for what? 3 years? How many years?
I'm here.
Yeah.
1.5 years.
1.5 years. I mean, that's tremendous. But still, okay.
Yeah.
There's lots of immigrants here who say, I should learn English because let's say they have kids in school, can't speak to the teacher. You never know, you might get stopped by a policeman, which I was today, by the way. I was stopped. That's another story. So you need to, but then they don't. So what is that? That's why I say sometimes you have that, like, I know that tonight I have to speak to my Korean tutor. That gets me going. Or I get these 2 transcripts that you need that some kind of specific thing. So in the case of your English, just the fact that you were going to emigrate to Canada, that was enough to keep you motivated?
Yes, because I really want to communicate well with people and to be understood by other people and understand other people, because it's essential to feel happy in a new country. And also, I think maybe people should have very specific time frames for learning. For example, you say that you have a conversation today, so you have very specific target and a specific time, or even for our 90-day challenge. So we have this specific time period, and we try to stay on track and learn. And when you say like, oh, okay, I'm going to start learning English on Monday, it will never happen.
Tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow.
You need very specific target, motivation, and kind of time frames.
And and that's what we try to do at Link too, because we have these known words total. When people say, "What's a known word?" It doesn't matter. I sometimes compare it to when they have dog races, they have a mechanical rabbit, and the dogs chase after the mechanical rabbit. So you need something like that to keep you going. On the subject of the policeman, I was driving. It was an 80-kilometer-an-hour zone, and I bought a new car, a Volvo. I don't have to do anything at its speeds. So I was going 124, it turns out. So a policeman comes at me. He's got his gun. He says, you went up to 128 kilometers an hour, but I have recorded here 124. And give me your driver's license and blah, blah, blah. He goes away, comes back, asks me my birth date, if I still live at the same address. And then he says, today I'm going to give you the speech instead of the ticket. He said, if you had been going 2 kilometers faster, like if I had been going 130 at the fastest point, he said, we would have taken your car for 7 days. We would have fined you $350. Towing your car, blah, 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 and then you would be, you would get the designation of a dangerous driver. Therefore, your insurance would go up by I don't know how much. I mean, that whole exercise would have cost me, I don't know, a couple of $1,000.
It's a good lesson for you.
From now on, I drive slowly. I don't know how that applies to language learning. We got to figure some way we can use that for language learning. Anyway, so today's my lucky day.
Yeah,
And you know what? Just on that subject, I was having lunch at that Korean restaurant, the Japanese run by Korean, where I sit at the bar and I talk to the Koreans behind the counter. And this lady sits down beside me because she's ordered some takeout. And then a friend of mine, Jason, you know Jason Jennings. So he shows up and we're talking about this, and I said, yeah, I had this, I almost got a ticket. And she said, well, I got that ticket. And she had her car impounded for 7 days.
Really?
And all the rest of it. So oof. Anyway, drive carefully, all you language learners.
Good luck.